Candace Owens and Andrew Wilson finally sat across from each other, and this debate went straight into the questions dividing them over the Charlie Kirk case. With Patrick Bet-David moderating, both sides were challenged to defend their arguments, explain their evidence, and answer the pushback. Signal District TV watched the exchange, and we're breaking down the key moments so you can understand what each side actually argued and decide for yourself. This debate centers on one major question: what should the public believe about the assassination of Charlie Kirk and the case against Tyler Robinson? Candace Owens has publicly questioned the official narrative and has argued that Robinson may have been set up as a patsy. Andrew Wilson challenged her to defend those claims directly and explain the evidence behind them. That disagreement is what brought the two face-to-face for this debate. Candace Owens used the debate to defend why she continues questioning key parts of the Charlie Kirk case. Her argument centers on whether the public has been given enough evidence to accept the official account without further scrutiny. Andrew Wilson pushed back on that approach, arguing that raising questions is different from proving a specific claim. That clash over evidence became a central issue in their debate. Andrew Wilson pushed the debate toward a different standard: evidence. His challenge to Candace Owens was to separate legitimate questions from conclusions that can actually be proven. Wilson argued that inconsistencies may justify asking more questions, but they do not automatically establish a larger theory. That disagreement, what the available evidence actually proves, became a major dividing line between them. Patrick Bet-David stepped into the middle as moderator, keeping the focus on what each side could actually support. Rather than deciding who was right, his role was to challenge the arguments, press for clearer answers, and keep Owens and Wilson addressing each other's claims. That matters here, because this debate ultimately comes down to a crucial question: where does the evidence end and speculation begin? Here the debate gets much sharper. Andrew Wilson presses Candace Owens to explain what positive evidence supports her belief that Israel and France were involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination. Owens pushes back, saying she has already explained her reasoning and rejects Wilson's attempt to dictate how she must present it. The key point: Owens is making an allegation here, not an established fact. As the exchange intensified, Patrick Bet-David stepped in to keep the discussion moving. Wilson continued pressing Owens for specific evidence behind her allegations. While Owens argued that she had already explained the reasoning behind her position, the disagreement was no longer simply about the case itself. It became a debate over what qualifies as evidence and how much proof is required before reaching a conclusion. Wilson kept pressing the central challenge: what specific evidence connects Israel or France to Kirk's assassination? Owens maintained that her audience already understands the broader reasoning. She has presented and resisted reducing her position to a single statement on demand. Wilson's response was that a serious allegation requires positive evidence. That clash became one of the debate's sharpest exchanges. In their closing positions, the divide remained clear. Owens defended her reasoning and her decision to keep questioning the circumstances surrounding Charlie Kirk's assassination. Wilson remained focused on whether those suspicions were supported by evidence strong enough to justify the conclusions being drawn. Neither position, simply because it was argued in this debate, should be treated as established fact. The biggest takeaway is not that this debate solved the case, it didn't. Owens presented why she believes major questions remain, while Wilson challenged whether her evidence supports those conclusions. The disputed allegations remain disputed. Signal District TV is leaving the judgment with you. Who made the stronger argument, and what evidence would you need before reaching a conclusion?